And now let's get into the match preview for the game against Southampton, which ain't going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Well, let's be honest, no game is an easy game for Spurs at the moment, particularly in the Premier League. I mean, you look at the last 5 games, you're probably looking at 2 of the most out-of-form teams in the Premier League coming up against each other in Southampton and Spurs. No win in the last 5 for either team. They've conceded 12, we conceded 9. We're scoring more than them, and they do have a couple of wins behind their belt at home. But the way Southampton play, they're an aggressive team. They like to attack, and I do worry for us a bit in this game. It's a ground that we don't like going to, really. And with Spurs, they're going to have a bit of a mix and match team out there probably, and with a forward line that is, you know, running on empty a bit at the moment with Sonny and Brennan Johnson. I do fear for us a bit coming into this game.
Yeah, and I think it's probably right to, because as much as Hampton only have 5 points this season, no game in the Premier League can be taken for granted. They're going to be desperate for points. And you look at, to be fair to them, against some of the bigger sides, even recently, they played Brighton away and they've conceded early, got back in the game, and they had a goal, in my opinion, wrongly ruled out for offside. They should have won that game. You look at the Liverpool game, 2-1 up until late in that game, with Liverpool turning it around late and winning it 3-2. Again, really good performance, and Liverpool really struggled against them. Man City, they lost 1-0, but you know, they hit the bar late on. They could have got back in that game as well. Like, they've put in some really spirited displays. And it was similar to what I was saying when we played Palace away, when they hadn't won a game. And I was saying, even though they haven't won a game, I watched them against like the likes of Liverpool and some good teams, and they really gave them a game, and it was really close, and it could have gone either way. And same with a lot of these Southampton performances, especially against some of the better teams. They haven't maybe got the wins, but a lot of these games could have gone either way very, very easily. And it's only really Southampton shooting themselves in the foot. Now, the benefit of that is if we come up against a team that's going to shoot themselves in the foot, we're quite good at forcing them out, forcing a team to do that, because we're very good, especially when we're on our game. Obviously, our pressing's very good. We saw that against Chelsea in the opening exchanges when we went 2-0 up, that we can still, you know, be quite intense at times in our pressing, and we force Chelsea into some mistakes. Southampton are the kings of shooting themselves in the foot.
And we're probably the princes.
Maybe, obviously, yeah, but you could say that. I don't think we've done it as much out of Southampton, but
we definitely did it against Chelsea on the
against week. Chelsea we did. I don't think we do it as, like, yeah, we've done it. We've done it quite a bit.
We've got a history of doing it.
We do have a history of doing it, for sure, and a history of collapsing. But I don't think I've ever seen a team give away as many goals from really bad, unexplainable errors as Southampton do every week. Especially, like, they do it a lot from... We don't give away too many goals from our playing out the back, I think, as they do. Like, we don't just give the opposition... We don't just give it to the opposition, let them run from goal as many times as Southampton do. And with our pressing, that could be obviously an avenue where even if we're not playing well, there's always a possibility they might just give us a goal and they might just give us opportunities. But when they don't do that, like against Brighton, they can get a result, and they played very well in that game. But if I remember that Liverpool game, they were great, Southampton, and Liverpool really, really poor on their day. But they just gave them 3 goals. They passed it straight to Szoboszlai, who scored. The one of them, Salah's a goal, the keeper was nowhere, and Salah just puts in an empty net out of nothing. And then they had an inexplicable handball in the box for no reason, like really tough to take for Russell Martin. And basically 3 goals they gave him where Liverpool were poor on the day. So even it could be one of those games where even when we're not playing well, we could just win because they just give us the goals.
Yeah. I would say, like, in those games you're talking about, they did play well and they did show signs that, you know, there could be potentially some improvement if they stop the rot at the back and stop just gifting opposition chances. But I felt like in the last 2 games, yeah, they created a few chances in the early stages against Chelsea, but they did end up losing 5-1, which, you know, Chelsea both had a bit of a changed side out, but I think Chelsea dominated them. And
again, but even in that game, I was watching it. Chelsea were poor in the first 20 minutes, and what happened was They literally gave him a goal. The keeper passed it straight to Nkunku, and he put it in the empty net.
That's what I said. Southampton did create some in the first 20 minutes, but I think once Chelsea got on top.
But I'm saying Chelsea weren't playing well, is my point, and they gave him a goal. They literally gave him a goal, and then all of a sudden, Chelsea in the ascendancy.
But I look at the last game, they didn't play well by any stretch of the imagination. They couldn't even fashion a chance against Aston Villa at Villa Park last week. I mean, they didn't have a shot on goal. I think they had 4 shots in general. I mean, Villa completely stifled them. And I think for the first time, playing against one of the better sides in the league, they just looked really toothless.
Yeah, they only lost 1-0. You know, going to Villa Park is not easy, and better teams have gotten worse results there. But yeah, obviously Villa stifled them. That happens. That can happen in this league, and that definitely happened. But I'm saying I've seen enough evidence against better teams that they always give them a game. And even that game, as you say, yeah, maybe it should have been more, but it only finished 1-0. And you know, when a game's only 1-0 late in the game, anything can happen, can't it? So, it's what's it called? Southampton, it's not going to be an easy game, but it's one of those where we could still win even when we're not playing well.
Yeah, it's true. And like I said before, in terms of struggling at this ground, 3-3 last time there in Antonio Conte's last game. What was that? The time before that, was that a draw? 1-1? Back in 2021. I'm just trying to get
that was
the record there, because it really is bad, our record at St Mary's. So you've got, one second, yeah, here we go. You got 3-3 last time, 1-1 the time before. Then we beat them 5-2 with that game with Kane and Son just on fire.
Yeah.
Before that, 1-1. 1-0 to Southampton in 2020, 2-1 to Southampton in 2019.
That was when Kane tore his hamstring.
Yeah.
And the other one, that was when Ward-Prowse scored a free kick.
1-1 in 2018. And then, so basically, since 2018, we've played them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times at St Mary's and only won once.
Yeah, but I never read too much into these things. I don't think that should have a bearing whether we win or not. But yeah, it's not great. I don't know why that is. Is it because it's South Coast, the wind? I don't know. What do you put your finger on why we can't have a great record at Southampton? And the only time we did win was no fans, right? So
yeah, with Sonny scoring 4 goals.
There was no fans in the stadium then.
Yeah.
So I don't think that, again, I don't really hold too much weight to these things when I think whether we'll win or not. But it's not great, not a great look, is it?
No, it's not a great look at all. And you're talking about some.
But it doesn't matter because they haven't been in the league. This is the worst one of all, though, the one we're facing.
Yeah, do you think so? This is the worst Southampton side that we've seen?
Well, 5 points after how many Southampton sides would have had so little points?
It's true, but when you're watching them play, they feel like they deserve more than 5 points.
Sure, but these other teams are much more capable of getting points, clearly.
Well, they might beat us, and you might say something different then. But I mean, some of these teams have been relegated that we're talking about.
Yeah, not with. I mean, yeah, maybe. I think looks like for them. I don't think Southampton will break the record for the least points, but at the moment they're on course to be down there for quite a lot.
But when you watch them play, you don't feel like they're that bad.
No.
So do you think there's something deceiving going on, or is it?
Yeah, probably.
Because it's literally just these stupid individual errors that are putting them in this situation.
Yeah, but they're doing it every game.
Yeah,
it's really it's one thing if they're doing it on a one-off, but like every single game they're just doing the same mistakes, like in terms of playing out the back and giving it straight to the opposition. So when you're doing it like that, and I know that at times they play really good football and they're brave, and I give them credit for that, but like if you're just like, let's say if you got the ball at the back and you're just giving it to the striker who's scoring, that's not good. That's not a good team to do that. You know
Obviously,
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like bad. That's terrible. Like, so that's a sign of a bad team. And now, can they play good football? Yes. Maybe it's just a good team with bad players. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, the quality, like the mistakes they are making are shambolic. They really are shambolic. So I think you can't really ignore that as much as they do. Obviously, they're capable of good performances and they're capable of making things difficult for good teams. The mistakes they're making are amateur.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And regardless of that, though, like I feel like we can go up there and score, and they'll probably gift us a goal or two. But
also, they're not very clinical.
I'm not confident. No, not at all. But I'm not confident at all of going up there and going down there and getting 3 points.
No, but that's more because of how we are at the moment. and it's going to be a bit of a story. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where we don't play well, but we might just win anyway because they give us a goal, kind of thing.
I hope so.
And I wouldn't even be surprised if that happens.
But you wouldn't also be surprised if we go there and don't take away anything from there.
If we lose, I'll be surprised.
At this point, I wouldn't.
I would be surprised if we lose. If we draw, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm still expecting a win, even though we're in a bad way. Don't get twisted. We're not playing well, and anyone, it seems, can give us a game right now, and we're out on our feet. But can we go up to Southampton and if we get an early lead, score a couple of early goals like we did. Like, let's say we have the start we did against Chelsea. I don't think we would blow it like we did against Chelsea. But at the moment, no, you can't take anything for granted.
So, because you said that, right, and you'll be very surprised if we lose. If we do go out there and lose, where does that leave Ange?
I mean, look, we're in a difficult way. Where does it leave him? Under pressure. He's under pressure. There's no doubt about it. I'm just because I'm saying I want to keep him, it doesn't mean he's not under pressure.
No, I'm not saying that. But where does it leave him in terms of the hierarchy's thoughts on him, on the project? Does it put his job in massive short-term jeopardy?
It's in short-term jeopardy right now. I don't think that. I don't think it's. Maybe it'll change if we lose to Southampton and lose badly. For sure. For sure it does, because that's an unacceptable result, even in the circumstances we're in right now, of course. But I don't think I don't think I'd sack him. Obviously, we got a big game on Thursday, and if we lose that one as well, then all of a sudden things are getting very, very hairy. I still wouldn't sack him, but it'd be obviously the pressure is going to continue to build. And if we lose to Southampton and we lose to United and go out of the cup, then there's going to be massive pressure on him.
You're looking
and then we've got Liverpool coming up after that.
You're looking at it right. Levy out chance at Bournemouth. Levy out chance at Rangers. Songs doing the rounds on social media regarding Levy before the Rangers game. Coupled with the bad form, if we do lose to Southampton and those spring up again, we know what Levy does when these songs start propping up. Do you think that he'll wield the axe potentially and in fear that will happen in the home game against Manchester United?
Will he wield the axe before the United game?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
He won't do it because we've already. I don't think they say he's in no danger and then a couple of results later he gets sacked. I just don't think that's going to happen.
That's what a vote of confidence is usually.
No, usually a vote of confidence when they're like, he's usually like, we're not going to sack him, but he's under pressure, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's not always. Apparently, it's not what we've said. Look, I think, as I've said, Levy usually would have sacked him by now, and he hasn't. So I don't think he sacks him before the United game. I think we're going to give him. I think we're going to give him a bit more time. I think we're going to give him time. I think we understand that we're in a very bad way with injuries. We're in a very bad way at the moment in terms of the state of the squad. And yes, we're underperforming. Don't get me wrong. But I think it seems that anyway the club understands that we just need to get to January. We need to get reinforcements. We need to get players back, and things will start to turn. And until then, we might have to go through. I said this before the Chelsea game. I think it's clear to me right now we might have to go through some short-term pain, and it's not. I don't see it getting too much better right now. We might get the odd result, but I think it's going to be a rough patch. Hopefully, one of those results we might get is Sunday, but it's not going to be an easy few weeks until January. I don't think.
For me, I don't think it's the right decision to do it. But I just fear, when you do start hearing these songs against the board, it does usually only go one way.
Just stop singing them then.
Huh?
So stop singing them.
I haven't sung them. I haven't been at a game to sing them. I've been here in the watch along. But it does usually go one way when the fans are in unison and Levy starts feeling the pressure. He does usually just sack the board. So sack the manager. That is what usually happens. And with the rut that we're in at the moment, Southampton loss will be a significant loss in terms for Ange Postecoglou as well. So I am quite fearful that might happen. I am.
I don't think he sacks him even if we lose. personally. Look, let's just hope we don't lose. But if we do, I don't think he sacks him.
Either way, it's going to be a very difficult game down at St Mary's. I'm not confident whatsoever going into it. What is your score prediction?
I'm going 2-1 Spurs. I think it'll be, again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's another unconvincing display and Southampton make things very difficult. I think the way they play should suit us, to be honest. So that's a benefit. And also the amount of mistakes they make and the way we press hopefully should lead to some sort of good results. I just think it'll be one of those games where unconvincing, Southampton, mistakes at the back, gift us 2 goals, and we're going to win the game 2-1. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm going to go for 2-2. I think there's going to be. I think it'll be a bit of a tennis game at times. I think we're going to give away chances. They're going to give away chances. I think we can get a couple of goals, but I think we're going to concede a couple of goals as well. And I think Southampton are going to be bang up for this. They'll be rested for a week as well. I think Southampton are actually coming into this smelling blood a little bit, seeing the way Spurs are playing. But obviously Spurs should be asserting our authority on this game, because man for man, we're clearly a lot better than what we're showing. We're clearly a lot better than the Southampton team with only 5 points. But we're better than Crystal Palace and Luton as well, and Ipswich as well.
I feel like with Southampton though, they only know one way of playing. It's not like, for example, like when you say they smell blood, I get what you're saying, but like let's say it's like you're playing Everton, who usually play like pragmatic, but then they'll go for it in certain games. And like let's say we were playing Everton or Goodison, they would smell blood and they wouldn't just be pragmatic. They'll like go for it. But Southampton always go for it. They always just know one way of playing. So I don't think that's going to change in this game.
No, I'm not saying that. But what I mean, I think they'll look at this game and they'll really fancy themselves to get some points.
If we can just stop Tyler Dibbling, I think that stops a lot of how Southampton can get the ball up the pitch. He's so good, such a strong dribbler, and he's one player that he can be a one-man attack at times. I've been so impressed with him. He's got unbelievably broad shoulders, and it's so hard to shake off the ball. If you stop him having an influence, I think that goes a long way to stopping Southampton.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sim's going for the 2-1 win. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. I want to know your score predictions in the comments section below. And that is our match preview for the Southampton game, in a game that I am really worried about. Let's hope Dr. Tottenham doesn't rear its ugly head once again. How many games has Southampton won this season? 1?
Yep.
Yeah, well, let's just hope.
Tottenham are the only club where you see a team on poor form and you're more worried than they're on good form.
Literally, man, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. But yeah, that is our Southampton preview.